So here I have an assortment of items I'm going to take with me. As you know, I always save my plastic containers. I got some ground beef here. I got some red potatoes and some garlic cloves. And my onion, of course. I've got some chives, and this is a container that I mixed a blend of spices in. You know, Mrs. Dash and spicy stuff and seasoning salt, etc. Combination. Got a little bit of cheese and crunchy toppings. Tex-Mex type meal. It'll be hot and warm for the belly in these conditions. You can see way over there on the edge of that field, there's an old chopping that a bunch of deer have been walking through looking for food. You can see lots more snow, more trail to break up ahead. It's definitely a moose. He's in here somewhere, so I'm going to be quiet. You can tell that the river is really frozen now because the moose walked across it. So in order for it to hold him, you know it's solid. That is a beautiful shrub covered with snow. It's like an umbrella underneath. The animals here are very wild. They're not used to human contact. So to see anything long enough to get it on the camera is a real prize. Because most generally, they see you before you see them, or they hear you, and they're gone like a bolt of lightning. A lot warmer today. We got some cumulus clouds happening. Sun's trying its best to come up. It's going to warm up this week from minus 28 to minus 4 and possible plus 0. So that's going to be fantastic. You can see here already that a deer has just walked out over this pack trail. Be it a small one, it's found its way. You can see where the weasel has made his house under the snow here, up into the bank. It goes beside a little spring, so he obviously likes it in here. There's his little den. They'll do that quite often. In the distance somewhere you'll hear that pine grosbeak. At the fire, trying to come down to the coals. Got a little stump here with my items on it. When it's time, when it cools down. You'll see it's way too hot. That's for your tea and boiling, not for your frying pan. So I'm just going to let that simmer down. Watch the sunset going down. Going to add some water to my pot. I'm going to have some tea this time. About a little container of water. You can't have too much tea. Used to be a fan of red rose tea. My mother used to collect the little trinkets that came in them when they had that promotion. Then I found that my taste changed again, and now I like green tea and herbal tea, which I would never try before. You can see my little girl there, princess outfit on. I got her another little pink suit. Hey girl. Everybody says hello. So if you have a favorite tea, why don't you leave that comment below. A lot of my friends don't drink tea, and the only reason that I do is because it's something that I remember from growing up. When we did family outings to the bush, we would gather around the fire, and it's one of the things we used to have and sit and discuss things while we were having our supper on a camp out or hunting trip or fishing trip. So that's why I celebrate a cup of tea. Not only that, it's going to warm me up while I'm waiting for these coals to simmer. And start my supper. The first thing I'm going to do is frazzle up some hamburger and add the onions and spices. Then we'll put that aside and do up the potatoes and make a medley. So we'll get to that now that the fire has simmered down. Razor sharp. Now I'm going to add some spices that I mixed up previously. Just a combination of many things. Got some splash in there, some seasoning salt, a little spicy stuff, hot. It's coming out of there a little slowly, so should be almost now. So, got my oven glove here. I'm just going to take this hamburger off for now. So we can finish the other part of the meal to add to it. This will go back on to get warmed up. But for now, I'd like to have the pan free. Some garlic in the bottom there, so that's fine. I add a little bit more oil. to the bottom to help with the browning potatoes. I'm going to slice them up very thin. So I'm kind of making these like chips. Slicing them very thin, as if you were going to have French fries in the form of chips. This is my first time using this particular knife, and I really like it. It's very good for what I'm doing right now. And there's two different sizes. It's extremely sharp, and it's giving me a razor thin potato cut, and that's exactly what I want today. Well, when I'm cooking out here, I'm always making as if I'm having two meals, so I'll take one home and have that. Hash browns, I call them, or hash, is very good for breakfast with eggs. Right now, if you were having breakfast, you could do these and then just throw some eggs on top. It would be awesome. These are washed with the skin on, but I'm leaving the skin on. I like the color. Good dish potato. And I let that fry up and get a golden brown. It's still brewing on some spices. I was trying to get this can of Taz open and I couldn't figure out why it would melt. And of course it's sealed with this where it's a new painter. Still even with that off, it's quite hard. Let's call this childproof, I guess. I'll put a few chives on for now. Once I see it does disappear down, I will add some more. The key is not to put them until they're actually brown on one side. With my oven mitt, this way to turn my pan around so the heat gets a different distribution as you go. Making sure that that doesn't stick to them. And it's starting to turn a little bit there. More sweet. So we put my pot back on and make it warm, a little warm. Put the top up. Turn it down, and it's so beautiful. Looks too dark. We got lots of candles, and steam up the fire again once the cooking is done. So we're going to keep brewing this up, add some onions, and we'll be right back. Now, if you want these to cook faster, you could always be baking your potato while you're doing your hamburg, and then when you slice them up thin, they'll cook faster. But I've sliced mine quite thin, and it's not taking too long to brown. So I've just added some onions and some garlic, and we're going to let that brew before we add the hamburger and the cheese. We're going to plate that up, and it is going to be yummy. This tastes really good. Got some crispy potato and the spices, the onions. Great combination.